Honestly, there we go. Can everyone hear me okay? Had some silly mic shenanigans going on there. How is everyone doing? Once again, as always, let me know if the sound's good for you, if you want me quieter or the music louder, or however you guys want it. All good, glad to hear it. How's everyone doing? Good so far, glad to hear it. Hopefully everyone's keeping well. It's a bit chilly here in the UK today, so I'm wrapped up snuggy. New Year hoodis. Yeah, true. Happy New Year, yeah, Happy New Year to all of you guys. We can all start the jokes of, I haven't seen you since last year. Just getting my brush the way I like it. And putting my phone on my desk so I can read what you guys have to say. That'll do. No, you're still early this time, the campfire. I always take a couple of minutes at the beginning just to have a little bit more to, drink or eat, and also to let some of you guys start coming in, so you're bang on time. That Rob Human, obligatory Patreon when and whatnot, just to get that. Oh, good shout. So I have actually spent a lot of this afternoon here in the UK setting up some more stuff, so setting up a Discord, setting up a Patreon. I'm trying to do it right, and as I said before, I'll be starting off with just a small Patreon only Discord, not because I necessarily don't want to have a big public one, but just because it will just to start off be me running it. So having people who have to have verified accounts will just make my life a little easier at first, and then once I have more mods and stuff, I can hopefully open that up a little bit more. But at the rate I'm going, hopefully before the week is out. That's the plan. I hope so anyway. So there'll be a kind of basic support tier, and then one that's which is just like $1 if you just want to help out but you don't have a lot of spare change, because there's no shame in that. And then we'll have one that's a little bit more like, oh, you want to have like producer credits in the video and all of that good stuff. I'm just getting this one here because I was staring vacantly at this the other day, and where did I put that? There it is. And I had some thoughts, and my thoughts were this. I am a big sucker for, I think they're called whipples. It's the inner bit of a nun's habit. So if you've got someone's face, it's this bit. It's the kind of hood section. And I just love that as a design element. I think they're really neat, and you can like put a crown on top and it looks cool. But for the Ironmongers, maybe it's less good. And that's kind of what I was starting to do here, and I think I'm going to walk that back today. Yes, these are the mountain people. These are the Bashat, or the Ironmongers. So yeah, I was having some thoughts today, and I thought actually whipples, which are kind of more associated with nuns' habits like we have here, those might be better for one of the other factions I have planned who are more... A wimple. No, you might be right. It might be a wimple, Crafty Sean. I think you are correct. I might just be stupid. No, you are correct. I think it is a wimple, not a whipple. Oh, that's embarrassing. But yes, I feel those are more medieval European inspired. And so I think I might keep that vibe for another faction. Whereas the kind of overarching vibe we've had with these guys is the idea of kind of not deforming the neck, but kind of obscuring the neck section. Instead of a clear, you know, head on the shoulders, you've always got something going on to kind of obscure the neck. And I think that's a nice stylistic thing to maybe take forward. Just looking at the chat. Hi, Happy New Year. Hi. Hi, everyone. I see. Yes, Jessie, you're early. You're bang on time. And remember, you're all wizards at heart, so you all arrived precisely when you meant to. So it's all fine. So yeah, I was just kind of babbling to the guys in chat that while I like the aesthetic of a wimple, I think we agreed, Crafty Sean, thanking you, it doesn't really work with the Ironmongers. So I'm gonna readjust this lady here to have maybe something a little bit more in keeping with her brothers and sisters, as it were. So we're going to work on that, and then depending on how I feel, I might either start cleaning up some of these sketches and getting ready to slap some colours down, or maybe we'll just design some helmets together if I'm a little tired. Short necks are in, that is correct, Anton. Hi, yes, happy 2024, and yes, another stream already. I do want to say that I'm off work at the minute, which is why I'm able to stream a little bit more. Obviously, I would love to be able to stream super frequently, but I'm trying to get them in while I can, you know, and then we will have to see how things look when I'm back at work. Yeah, so maybe something a little bit more like this. And then, given that they have these, we want to keep that design language consistent, so maybe instead of that, they have a little bit more fabric. So as I said before, something I imagine with the Bashat is that they have all of this ornate metalwork, and so what they do is just have these big loose hunks of fabric that they can just kind of tuck, you know, throw over the top and tuck into the stuff. So while it looks ornate, it's more like I put my best bits on and then I sling a whole bunch of fabric on top just to fill in the gaps. So let's see if we can get a little bit more of that going with this lady. Sorry, just reading the chat there. Yeah, so obviously I can't recap an entire stream. I'm just adjusting my chair. Recap an entire stream for those of you who weren't here. I think the best thing to do is either, you know, check it out for yourself, or obviously wait until I make a video on these guys, but that may be a little while off. But the long and short is the Bashat are a faction of mountain people from like a kind of interconnected network of little villages and places along a mountain range, and they are best known for their ironwork, hence why they're nicknamed the Ironmongers. That's their whole kind of deal. For some reason my stuff is being a bit finicky at the minute, so I'm just trying to get to grips with that. There we go. Oh, so this seems to be a weird Flanderization that's kind of come about, where people seem to think that these guys are adamantly anti-gold, as someone's put it in the comment section. They're not. They don't like ban gold. It's not like they don't completely use it. They just think it's lazy. They think, well, you know, we don't have a lot of gold where we come from, so we never really learned how to use it. Feels a bit lazy. They don't see the work that alchemists do as a whole lot. They're like, well, you know, we work really hard with what we've got, and we're happy with that, and we're happy with our form of craftsmanship. Trying to get this to be a bit more, I don't have a better word other than shapey. I'm not keen on the shape. I want to work on a different shape for it. What we're going to do is what we did the other day, which is I'm going to duplicate the Slayer, and then if I mess it up, we can go back. Let me look at my references. So this one here actually has like, maybe it has like that sort of thing. And then something like that, maybe? A little think on that. Maybe they could have something like that, and then like this guy over here, some metal ornaments kind of weighing down the veil. Not sure how I feel about that. That Rob Human, so not our jam, more than away heretic. Yeah, exactly that. It's less, it's more like, oh, well, you guys can be weird and fancy and lazy. We just want to make cool stuff and be very good at what we do, and what we do is iron. Are these people buried in this armor? I think so. Yeah, I think so, because like, it's not always necessarily armor either. Like some of them, a lot of them like to make masks, but a lot of them, their pride might be tools they've made or weapons they've made. And I think, yeah, they have a very personal tie to them. I think they are buried with their kind of personal piece of iron armor. And I think out of all the words I need to come up with for them, that's probably a big one. I think their language should have a word that means a custom piece of ironwork that I wear to represent myself. Because it could be a mask, it could be a weapon or a tool or a breastplate or a lantern, but they all make custom pieces of iron that represent themselves. So I should probably come up with a word for that in their own language. I just want to forge, for God's sake. Yeah, exactly. They just wanna forge. They are kind of like dwarves, except they are quite a lot bigger and stockier. So this is some body studies I did. They're actually a lot bigger and stockier than the average person. Not like, yeah, I'm not sold on this. We're going with this one. They're not like giant proportions. They're not like, you know, we've not got someone down here just being like, you know, what are you? They're a little bit more just kind of, I don't know, if the average person's 6 feet tall, they're like averaging, I want to say like 6'5", 6'6". They're just a few inches taller. Or maybe they're just bigger. Maybe they just feel bigger because they're stockier. Chad Ironmonger versus Virgin Gold Alchemist. Could that custom word also be a synonym for heart? They can literally wear their heart on their sleeve. That's quite a nice idea. Or maybe like their word for soul or something like that. Yeah, that's a really nice idea. Yeah, they do all have blacksmith bods, Lulu, that is for sure. But yeah, I like that idea. Maybe their word means like soul or heart or something. Iron heels go a long way. Yeah, maybe maybe they're all just wearing. Maybe all of this is a myth. These bods, they're actually really skinny and they just wear like iron mech suits. Someone asked in the chat if if your world. Oh god, I'm losing the ability to speak. Is your world building project all about humans, or are there other sentient species? I think. Watch this space, but primarily, yeah, it's not going to be like a Tolkien-esque. There's the elves and there's the dwarves and there's the whatever it is. I think there's a chance that other species do exist, but they're more like folk creatures or you know, fae stuff. But it's yeah, in terms of people, I think it's a lot more focused on humans. I'd say for now. It's more about the interplay in politics. I do quite like this Tuscan Raider female one, which I've been using as a bit of a reference, where one of them's kind of got this shawl going on. But then on the other hand, we've already had one that bunches the fabric like that. Maybe we can take more inspiration from this shawl. Maybe it's a little bit more of this. Something like that. And then they can have some metal bits down here to kind of weight it down. If you can get away with telling a human story without needing that reflection, then yeah, I do agree. I think a big thing with Golden Bone, and a couple of people picked up on, is that for me, I'm less I still want to flesh out like the alchemy, and if you were in the last stream, you heard little snippets of some of the ideas I'm bouncing around. But I think the bit that interests me the most about Golden Bone is different cultures' commodification of the human body, basically. Which, you know, I don't want to go full we live in a society, but it's not unlike some of the stuff we see nowadays. That's something I definitely want to explore. Yeah, it's all about the gold and it's all about the bone. Absolutely, Anton. I promise these will get tidier in the future, but for now I just kind of want to get some cohesive ideas down. I want them to feel cohesive. Just gonna flip the canvas to get a fresh perspective on things. Someone says, is there somewhere to post your OC? Not at the minute, unfortunately. If you were here just a few minutes ago, you would have heard the plans are a Discord. If you're, at the minute, no, unfortunately. Which I'm trying to remedy as fast as possible, I swear. Yeah, I'm still not sure if this lady... Like, don't get me wrong, every society has a variety of clothing. I mean, look at us nowadays, we don't all dress the same. But I want there to be a feeling of consistency among their designs. I think the colour scheme will go a long way with that. By kind of, it will help homogenize them. They'll all have like the same iron features on their bodies. I think that'll really help. Ooh. Flesh these guys out a little more. I think also maybe giving this woman a more rounded section on her mask. Rounded eyes, that is. I think maybe make the masks a little more cohesive, that might help. I don't know. Maybe this one could be really big and we actually do see the eyes on this one. Just kind of experimenting. Nah, not feeling that. Remember, gang, it's always okay to go back on stuff. We're just having fun with it. You're just getting to see my very indecisive thought process. Sometimes I can sketch something out like this immediately, and other times I will stare vacantly at the same mask for 97 minutes with no progress being made. That's just art, baby. Oh, let me just catch up. There's been a lot of messaging in the chat. World building question. As their Ironmongers, would their ironwork be seen as more or less value if it becomes rusted? So that's kind of what we were talking about last time, is I like the idea a lot of them carry around, like, especially if they're going on long journeys, they carry like these big oil sachets and pouches with them. And I think a big part of that is that Ironmongers encourage people to be very good at their craft and take pride in their craft, and I'd imagine something becoming rusted would be a mark of, you know, a great deal of failure on their part if that was to happen. So yeah, that would be a big no-no for them. Is there a specific in-world reason why they're always covered? As I said, they don't have to be covered. There's lots of Ironmongers who aren't covered. And I could maybe do with sketching a couple of them. Some of them will wear kind of more, I guess, like Romani inspired head coverings. It's just I felt it pertinent to show off specifically these guys. They you know, the ones that wear masks. They tend to wear them more when they're out in public, or specifically when they're dealing with outsiders. If that helps fill in some of the gaps from the last stream. The best way to become more media literate is to make media. I would agree, yeah. I think there's nothing quite like staring at the same stupid drawing for a few minutes at a time. Do they have a special steel? Well, they don't have a special steel, they just have a very good iron. They're just very, very good with iron. I like to think maybe they have special techniques that mean their iron is stronger or better, like maybe they treat it with certain powders during the smithing process, which means that they don't need to alloy it. I think that could be interesting. Maybe they have like secret techniques that they use. I don't think they ride horses a whole lot, and like I said, a lot of the Ironmongers don't wear full plate armor. A lot of them don't, but they live in a mountainous region, so they'd probably have beasts of burden, but I think they'd walk on foot. Oh, you know what I mean, that Rob Human. I mean specifically unique powders, maybe their own form of alchemy that they don't even view as alchemy. Ironmongers aren't nomadic. No, they do live in small groups, little interconnected villages. There is a nomadic group in Golden Bone, but this is not it. These guys have a network of villages. Bear with me. We had this problem last time. It only happened once. Hopefully it only happened once this time. My Photoshop's frozen, which is a bit annoying. That's what I get for having a very, very old setup that needs replacing. Bear with me. There we go. We're good. I just didn't want to risk you guys seeing anything, yeah, like any private information and stuff like that. Just gonna get rid of the contextual taskbar. There we go. Right. In fact, yeah, you know what? I'm struggling a lot with this lady's mask, but I did just say that a lot of them don't wear masks. So what about we make this lady someone without a mask? And then we can get an idea of their facial features. Yeah, something like that. Just so we can show a different side of their culture. Do these characters have any names? No, not yet. This is just, these aren't specific characters. These are more us kind of having a look at how these guys dress, getting a feel for their kind of personhood. As I said before, I think my two main inspirations with these guys are more Romani, mixed in with a little bit of like kind of fantasy Viking, I guess would be a little bit in there. But so anything derivative of that, I think would work quite well. Lots of F sounds, I feel, like kofla and stuff like that. Do they have llamas and chinchillas? That's a good question. I definitely feel like they have goats. Yeah, the thing is, I want to really distinguish them from the Marathi, and the Marathi are nomadic, so I need to kind of decide what I want. They're like a different faction, so the Marathi are an actual nomadic faction, and the area they come from is more similar to, you know, steppe areas like Mongolia and stuff like that. So I kind of want to distinguish these two from one another. Yeah, you're right. They could be weird goat llamas. We don't have to be bound by the rules of conventional creatures. I do want to have some original ones. Yeah, they could be like a big goat bison llama hybrid thing. I think that'd be kind of neat. I'm not gonna go into great detail on the face for now. I just want to kind of mark out the facial features. I think, yeah, kind of like small eyes at a outward slant. Yeah, maybe we've got that kind of classic thin upper lip. I don't know, something like that. We're just kind of getting the base of the shape down for later. That'll do for now, just so we've got an idea. What could she have for footwear? We did wrap boots for him. Lots of wrap going on, so let's go with that again. We'll go for like some maybe small little fabric shoes this time. Goat llama hybrids, my beloved. Yeah. Yes, I think the goat aspect would be really good. Just the idea that that these guys are like more or less clinging to the mountainside, and then so do all of their pack animals. I think that would be really fun. What's also fun with less with the Marathi, but with these guys, the Bashat, is that they do a lot of trade with other factions. As I said before, this guy here, the reason he's wearing his like a little half shoulder cape is because he does business with the faction that has more of like, you know, the tricorn hats and the shoulder capes and the little guns. And so he's like, I want to emulate that for when I do business with them. And I think we also agreed before, these guys have more skirts going on for the men and the women, so. trousers underneath, of course, so that they can be nice and practical. Maybe this one's got like a dress on. Something a little like that. I'm just kind of adding greeblies to her thing, like she's got like a little belt pouch or something. So once again, like I said, they take pride in their tools, so maybe she's like a knife sharpener or something. And this is her big, beautiful belt of like pumice stones and stuff like that. She's got a little knife hidden in there somewhere, watch out. Maybe I'll have her holding the knife, so it's a little bit more obvious that she's a knife sharpener. Let me just have a little read of the comments section while I sip my tea. What about a Mara chinchilla hybrid? That would look just the part. Mara small rabbit. That could be really interesting. That's a good idea, Tide Otter. Thank you for that. It would also be really cute and fun to draw. This is the thing. If you guys have seen my community post recently, you'll know I'll happily draw the most like Dark Souls-esque body horror nonsense, but then I'll also quite happily draw, you know, just little fluffy guys. It's part of the reason I decided not to just do Golden Bone for my channel, because I want an excuse just to draw little fellas. Lots of discussion about umlauts. Your very own brand new goat packer. Watch out, they spit. Yeah, Quillobella, you mentioned yesterday, I think bells and gongs would be a big part of their culture for sure, because a really well-made bell or gong doesn't need to be hit hard for the sound to travel well, so I think that would really help make them quite distinctive. They have these big gongs and bells and stuff like that. The legendary elusive crawfish. Traditional marriage clothing would be interesting to see. More cultures. Yeah, I think, once again, a big thing with the Bashat is being really good at your craft and acts of service. So I'd like to think that maybe for marriage, they have to both make something for the household. So their gifts to one another would be like, I made you this really beautiful carving knife, and you're a blacksmith and I made you this beautiful hammer or tool belt or something like that. I think that would be a big thing for them. Oh, the monster guy. Simon, I see you laughing in the chat. Did you send a bunch of people over again? Hi. Someone just said, congrats on 26k. Wait, did I hit 26k? Oh, wow. I missed that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, hi Simon, I can see you in the chat. How you doing? How's it all hanging? Bells and gongs, yeah, I agree with that, Rob Human. I think bells and gongs do make a lot of sense. And once again, it shows off iron skills, and that's what we're after here, so that's perfect. Well, oh, I just opened Discord, right. Oh, Valleybore dropped a new video. Another banger from Valleybore. I'll have to watch that after the stream. Right, back to these guys, eh? Oh, that's a big brush. We said we were going to give her a knife, maybe, didn't we? What you got there, Bashat woman? A knife! Yeah, exactly. I love the idea of giving something meaningful as a marriage gift, something to remind of the person throughout your day. Exactly. I think that's, yeah, it's exactly that. That once again, because they value craftsmanship above all else, the best thing you can do is pour your sweat and time into something. And as I said before, they have this person who I do need to design at some point known as the Silent Oracle, and they very much represent their idea of like, it's just nice spending time in silence, in the zone, working on your craft. And so the gestures from like your partner should be something that even when you're being silent and just kind of quietly working, you can think about them. Not sure how I feel about the gauntlets. We'll have a think on that one. I was thinking, maybe some metal down here would look kind of cool. And then she can have some kind of little trouserlet type things. Yeah, something like that. I think that's kind of cute. The average comment says, God, I would fit in with these guys so well. I just love chilling and spending time with people by making stuff in silence. Yeah, absolutely. These guys are an introvert's dream. It'll be like, hey, do you just want to like hang out, but both of us say absolutely nothing and just do our hobbies? And the Bashat would be like, hell yes, that's our idea of a great time. They love all of that stuff. Maybe a sign of love or just a nice act that they can indulge each other in might be the patient maintenance of their equipment. Yeah, I think maintaining equipment is also a nice way that they kind of show love for each other. Right, I'm just refilling my thing from my teapot. I am, I do want to kind of, I think I know what I'm going to do for it, but I'm just kind of thinking out loud. For the Patreon, I have a, it sounds like a British stereotype, but actually being obsessed with tea to the degree that I am stands out even amongst my British friends. And I was thinking of naming a bunch of my Patreon tiers after the parts that go into having a cup of tea, like teapots and biscuits and stuff. I think that would be silly. Someone says maintaining equipment would be seen as kind of like maintaining a relationship. You put in effort. Sorry about the microphone noise. You know, like it just is what it is. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do until I get better setup. Please give Miss Bishat hearts. Yeah, you know what? It was Mr. Bishat yesterday. Let's give Miss Bishat some hearts. Look at her go. She's doing so good. We love her. Yorkshire Gold. But yeah, I do agree. Is it Adai? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yeah, I think a big part of like maintaining each other's tools is, you know, it's also maintaining a relationship. That's a huge part of it for sure. So someone asked what I'll drink any kind of tea. I got really into. So one of my co-workers at work raises bees of all things, and I bought some honey from him, and I've been having a whole lot of like ginger and lemon tea with honey in it. And at the minute I'm drinking Russian Caravan, which is a bit smokier. I fancied a change. When Hung come back home to see your armor polished and knife sharpened, yeah, exactly that. It's just, that's true love, right? And also a massive sign of trust. Yeah, for sure. Tea names for the Patreon levels. Now that could be fun. Yeah, because at the Yorkshire Gold for the gold one would be quite funny. Because at the minute, I was going to call one like Teapot and another one like Biscuits and stuff like that. But maybe naming them after tea blends could be quite funny. Ooh, I'll have to have a think about that one. That's interesting. I like that. Okay, so I can always come back and design some more helmets, but what I think I might do for now is start cleaning one of these up. So I'm going to start giving these like, that's set 1, that's set 2, that's the face. I'm just cleaning up my layers a little bit. Is that an empty layer? It is. That's a reference I no longer need. Let's have a little tidy up. Well, her face is actually a little wonky now I'm looking at it. Well, it's not quite where it should be. That's a little better. Something like that, maybe. There we go. Okay, so the plan is I'm going to duplicate this underlayer so I still have the body as a bit of a reference. We're going to duplicate everything in case I mess up, because I always do. Oh hey, it's all the lovely stuff from yesterday. Just gonna delete this for now. And I'm just gonna start deleting some of the body shape underneath, so we can kind of see what we're working with. You feel me? I don't want to remove the whole thing because sometimes I think it adds a little bit of texture, or maybe I forgot to draw a line somewhere. Yeah, you see, like for the hands. I'm going very rough. I kind of don't really do clean line art anymore. I let my sketch layers add all of that grunge and texture, which is why I'm not just straight up deleting the sketch layer, because it means that I get little bits left in. You must sign up for Lapsang Souchon. This is non-negotiable. Yeah, I may have to name them after tea. That is starting to become a bit of my modus operandi now. To my detriment, I would struggle to trust my partner with wood carving knives. Hence why I think it would be such a big thing in their culture. Trinkets might also be an often sight as people would make trinkets for their loved ones, such as little pins. Yeah. So even if you're not like a good metal crafter, it's like, well, can you sharpen something for someone, or can you make a little trinket, or are you good at repairing things, or, you know, it's just about the maintenance of your craft, I think, is the big thing. There we go. Are there types of weapon they prefer, like bows or swords? I think I said in the last stream that I view them as maybe not seeing as much of a fundamental difference between a tool and a weapon. So a hammer would probably be like, maybe they do war hammers and stuff like that, sledgehammers. But they're not really fighters, despite how they look. They're artisans. And I think maybe in their language, the word for like a tool and a weapon is the same thing. It's just an apparatus. Calobello, thank you so much for the donation. That's really appreciated. Let me have a little read of your comment. I live near the Alps, northern Italy, and I can tell you that while trekking in the mountains, you can hear cows from quite a distance away because they have collar bells. Yeah, I think that maybe I need to design some bells on these guys, or like bells from this culture. I think it'd be nice to design trinkets and artifacts from this culture, given ironwork is so important to them. So yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the donation, always appreciated. But also thank you for that idea. The sketch lines add more depth. Yeah, I like leaving my sketch lines in. Every sword is a hammer if you try hard enough. 40k or AOS. Well, I play Warhammer Underworlds, and that's about the extent of the Warhammer I play, unfortunately. Because everything else is too pricey. So, once again, like I said, I've kept duplicates of these layers. I always keep them because I'm paranoid. But what I'm going to do, you can see it's subtle, but it helps me out by keeping these lines. So I'm going to merge these down. This is going to be our sketch layer, and once again, I'm just going to duplicate it to be safe. And I'm going to start just tidying up my sketch layer. And I think we'll start with this guy from yesterday, because I miss him. We've not worked on him for a little while. He needs some love. And it means that if I get stuck, I can always look back at my sketch layer and get a feel for like the shape. So if I go a bit off course, I can always look at what the friend shape looks like. How do we feel about smoothing? Is that gonna... Oh, that does help a little with the shakes, actually. There we go. I will slightly reduce the opacity on my eraser, though, so it's on like 80%. Yeah, that's better. Sorry, just reading the comment section. Famous craftsman from Mountain Local. Oh, some people are filling people in the comment section. Let me have a little look. Oh, someone just explaining the Ironmongers. I see, yeah. Culture of craftsmen. They're artisans first and foremost. I've already made this, so I don't like it. That's not a good sign, is it? I think it's because I'm trying to do too much at once. So, how was everyone's New Year's? Did anyone do anything fun? Ah, so many of you spending time with your family or on yourselves. That's really important. Oh, Cola, you need that sleep. Don't get up super early if you need to keep sleeping. Well, if you can afford to, of course. If you're off or if you've got a little longer to sleep, do try and get some extra sleep. Ooh, what are you doing up there, little fella? Oops. You worked over the weekend in the botanical garden. That's really awesome. Amazing. You guys have such interesting lives, I swear. Right, I feel like he's leaning a little, so I'm actually going to flip the canvas and see if that looks any different. Yeah, he's leaning a little. A little's not too bad. We don't mind a bit of asymmetry here, but let's see if we can tidy that up a little. There we go. The most interesting thing in my life is my mum owns part of a flock of sheep. That's still really cool. I think sheep are great. I think they're really fun. They always have so much personality. Sorry if the line art is a little shaky. I've got a little bit of the shakes today, which is a bit annoying. But so hence why I'm just kind of taking more time to chat with you guys and stuff like that. How thick did we have it? Okay. Something like that. Yeah, I could work with that. I'm trying not to be... I used to be way too precious about stuff exactly matching the sketch layer, and then I realised that's never really going to happen. You just got to go with it. Adai, you'll have to tell me how to pronounce your name. Thank you so much for the donation. Let me have a little read. To be able to watch your stream live, it's worth losing some sleep. Keep up the great work. P.S. What's going to become of Golden Bone when it's done? So one, thank you so much again. Two, do make sure to take care of yourself and get lots of sleep. Otherwise I'll be really sad. And P.S. What's going to become of Golden Bone when it's done? Well, you need only look at any world building channel to know that it's going to be a long time before it's done. Which isn't a cop-out, that's just me saying, you know, I want to, you know, temper some expectations here. That being said, I suppose I have a background in tabletop RPG design, so I think that is where my interest lies, but I've also done writing in the past in general. So I think Golden Bone will be an ongoing project for now, forever. Well, not forever, but, you know, kind of in perpetuity, but I'll use that to maybe feed into other projects and spin-off stuff. And as I said, the channel isn't going to just be Golden Bone. There's going to be other things I'm going to work on here as well. So hopefully there'll be a little something for everyone, which I know is a bit of a cop-out answer, but it is an honest answer. We'll just wait until it's time to shade it before I start worrying about reflections there. RP Jeffrey, absolutely loving the idea of iron weights on the clothing. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think iron weights on the clothing is just a bit of fun, but it also adds a little something. It's less prevalent on these guys, but these guys for sure have those little iron weights going on, which I think does add a little je ne sais quoi. Yes, greebles. I absolutely love adding greebles. I think those really add stuff to your drawing, you know. I'm just going to turn the sketch layer on real quick. Oh, two people in the chat. Ryan Ratchford, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. I love this guy. Made me think of a cute, chubby Darth Vader with Central Asian influence. JK, but very awesome. Can't wait for more of your amazing work. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I suppose with their masks and stuff, these guys do have a little bit of a kind of, it's almost a borderline sci-fi feel to them. So that's a totally valid way of interpreting how they look. Yeah. Thank you so much again for the donation. And Alex Simpkin, thank you so much. If when Golden Bone becomes a fully fledged TTRPG, I would love to recommend the Forged in Dark system as a backbone for it. Maybe. I mean, this is a while off. But if I did, I mean, a part of me would just kind of want to create my own system. Because in my experience, I find that just because I played a lot of 5th edition, among other things, the first tabletop RPG I ever played was Call of Cthulhu, to be fair. In my experience with D&D is that so many people have made all of these original systems to the point where they might as well just not be playing D&D anymore. They might as well just be using a different system. They're like, oh, and I've had to jerry-rig this mechanic into the D20 system and all of that. And the more I look at that stuff, the more, especially because I have a degree in game design, I'm like, oh, I could just make my own. It's probably what I would do. As someone who obsesses over the practicality of armor, the idea makes my skin crawl. Oh, I did a paint over of your lift guide to see what an anvil-shaped head looked like. I mean, to be fair, these guys don't have to be practical because they don't really see combat a whole lot. They're not bad warriors. They're just like, well, people don't mess with us. We're artisans first and foremost. Ooh, everyone's sharing the RPGs they've played in the comments section. Wonderful. Yeah, there's a lot of really good tabletop RPGs out there, and if I have one pet peeve, it's definitely people who refer to all tabletop RPGs as Dungeons and Dragons. And this is coming from someone who loves Dungeons and Dragons and has played for many years since she was a teenager. Well, preteen. Playing around with my brush settings. Like I said, this is also a chance for me to just have some fun with different styles and techniques, so you'll have to be patient with me if I'm just here kind of playing around with my layers and my settings. I only tried 5th edition a few years ago, but every campaign fell apart. Yeah, that's often the way with tabletop RPGs, unfortunately. They always seem to fall apart. So frustrating, eh? I've recently picked up the Vysen RPG personally. So if any of you guys are into Nordic horror, I definitely recommend that. I'm going to try and get something going with some friends in the new year. I've not actually played Cyberpunk. It looks fun. I just this sounds weird, but I have a real issue with time limit games. Like, you have X amount of time. It's like, I want to take as much time as I want to explore the space, you know? Because that's just how I enjoy RPGs. And it doesn't feel like you can do that in Cyberpunk because I've heard that story-wise you're on a bit of a time limit. I could be wrong, though. You don't have an actual time limit, the game just tells you that you are. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Noted. That has sold it for me somewhat more. It was something that almost put me off the video game Tyranny, if any of you guys have played that. Absolutely loved Tyranny. Such a good game. But the initial mission, you are on a time limit of like 7 days, and I was like, oh, this is a bit annoying. But then that's just the first act, and then for the rest of the game, you're not on some kind of time limit. And now I would heartily recommend it. How thick was I going on these? Okay. Tyranny was... Yeah, I loved Tyranny. Tyranny is not a very well-known game compared to some of its counterparts. It's still got a decent reception, I think. But it's actually one of the future Golden Bone videos, non-Golden Bone videos I wanted to do, you know, just some of my channel shenanigans, like the most recent Tinkerbell one. I did want to maybe design like an Archon, like my own Archon that fits into the world of Tyranny. I thought that could be good fun. If you guys haven't checked out Tyranny, I would recommend that you check out Tyranny. I'm not sponsored by Tyranny, I just think it's a fun game. I'm leaving tiny bits of that texture in there because I think it'll just look good. Something like that. I kind of want this one to be straighter. Yeah, something like that. Hi, hello. Some people saying howdy in the chat. How are we doing? If you want to babysit demigods, it's the perfect game. Yes, yeah. Tyranny is basically you babysitting a bunch of demigods and future demigods, and it's quite funny in that respect. And they're all little prissy babies, and if you don't agree with them once, they get very angry. But there's also something quite entertaining about that being the premise. So I would still heartily recommend it. Just kind of playing around with some of the values here. Nah, not sure I'd like that. I'm taking that off. Right, time to take this bit off. I think I'm going too clean on some of this line art. I usually don't go this clean, and I think it's because I'm feeling a bit perfectionist-y today. So I'll try to keep a bit more of this roughness in. There we go. Trying to keep it a little loosier-goosier, if you get my meaning. I'm actually going to flip the canvas again because I get worried that he's going to start leaning too much. Yeah, we got a little bit of a leaner going. Watch out, boss, we got a leaner. Sorry if I'm not talking as much. I think when I really get into drawing, I do just kind of zone out and just start drawing, and then I realise, oh yeah, I'm streaming and I have all of these lovely people tuning in. It's always the issue when you start cleaning stuff up, and I almost wonder if it would have been better if I just painted directly onto the line art. Is I've lost a lot of that like bushiness that I had here. Like it feels a little less puffy, if you get my meaning. Sorry, I was just reading the chat. There's a weird delay when you're streaming like this. Right, well, let me try going a little less refined on this sleeve, and then we'll see which style we like more. And then I can always, because I backed it up, I can always go back and make this sleeve kind of poofier, but I feel like it feels too thin, like the fabric feels too thin now. And if maybe, instead of trying to tidy up the line art, I should have just started going straight in with the colours and fixed it in the paint over. How long have I been drawing? I think I've been drawing more or less since I was a kid, which is the cop-out answer that people always do on those baking shows or cooking shows. I'm aware, like, oh, I've been doing it since I was little, but it's true. I think I've been doing it on and off since I was a little kid. Did it through university, all of that jazz. Also, I just want to say some really wholesome, even if I'm not commenting on all of it, some really wholesome conversations happening in the comments section. I love to see it. Yeah, I just feel like, you know what? Yeah, I might actually get rid of this. It doesn't feel poofy anymore. This side feels like puffier, but this side, I just want to try something real quick. I can always hit Control Z, that's what it's there for. Yeah, see, I actually think I like that more. It feels less fine, like silk. Yeah, I like that more. Everyone's talking about their studying of coding in the comments. That's awesome. I only ever done a tiny bit, but obviously because I work in game design and I make 3D assets, I've worked with a lot of people who do coding and I have a lot of respect for it, so good on you guys. I do 3D modelling too, yeah. My main profession, my day job as it were, is I'm a senior technician for asset design, so at a university, so I help students learn how to make 3D models and UV wrap and untexture and all of that good stuff. Didier says, are you still going to stream on Twitch? I don't know. So I have streamed on Twitch at least once before. But at the same time, obviously, it's a lot easier to monetize videos on YouTube. It kind of keeps all in one place. The issue that some people have is that, a lot of their subscribers don't have Twitch accounts, and so it's less accessible. I know there's a way to do both, so that's the next step, is doing both. But I would like to, have joint streams. I just don't know if I currently trust my setup, is the issue. I don't know if it could handle doing both, if I'm being 100% honest. Amelia says, I 3D model too, but I make plain parts. Oh, that's sick. That's awesome. I forgot what this bit was going to be, and now I've realised he had like these arm brace things. I kind of forgot to include it on this side. I would also say as well, if you guys get the chance, I still get asked a lot of questions on stream that I did answer in the Q&A, and it's not the end of the world if you've not watched it, but if I don't get round to you, as a reminder, the Q&A did have a lot of questions and answers and all of the good things. I would say one thing in particular, though, that I get asked more than anything is about, oh, you could replace gold, you could replace bones and all of that. And by definition of the ornata and me saying it's impossible to replicate, it just is. It grows on people. The gold grows on the bones in a way that just can't be replicated. But also bone surgery is so dangerous. Like, it's just not something... I think some of the people in the comment section of that first video saying, well, you could just wheak someone's bone out and replace it. It's like, I mean, we can barely do that nowadays. It's so dangerous. You could try and do it in the Golden Bone universe, but you probably die. Are there patterns etched into the iron masks? Yeah, I think I'm going to add those in a bit. Honestly, after all of that, I mean, and it's not a waste of time because doing a study is never a waste of time. A part of me is like, maybe I should have just gone in and just started painting this instead of trying to smooth everything. It wasn't a waste of time because it gave me a better feel for the shape of the object, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, should I just paint into it? Someone just said, if you ever want to get into sort of art medium, please don't be discouraged by people who you feel are better. Oh, 100% that. Yeah, don't be discouraged by other people's perceived skill, because, you know, this is gonna sound silly given that obviously all of you guys are here and we're hanging out, but I don't perceive myself as being the most skilled. I see artists every day on this platform who I feel are better or more deserving of the kind of attention I got through the Golden Bone video, which just goes to show that we're all just pretending. And you can't really compare a lot of people. And so I've stopped comparing myself to others as much as I can, and it's been so beneficial for me. And obviously that's just my personal experience, but you know, everyone gets like that. I guarantee all the other, well, the majority of the world builders and art people you follow probably feel exactly the same way. There we go. Maybe if I add a little bit of this in there. I think what I'm going to do is just copy him for now. He does feel to be a little on the wonk. He's a little wonky. Not sure if nudging it with the liquefy tool will help at all, but let's give it a go. Let's see if nudging him a little bit will help. Oh no. I think I need to have colour in the background first actually, otherwise it's going to impact the opacity. Yeah, of the line art. Let's just work with what we've got. We're just going to work with this. So says I. Bit wonky, bit silly. Quick question. How would cancerous growths affect the magical abilities of the Ornata? So yeah, as I said before, the bone cancer thing doesn't improve or reduce your abilities. It's just gonna kill you. Like in the Q&A, I very pointedly said, you know, that guy with the bone cancer thing, he's dead. He's 100% dead. Cancerous growths impact the Ornata the same way they affect anyone else. Unfortunately, it is a risk and downside of the condition. Gonna get biological. Oh, this is the debate about the gold stuff. As I said, once again, this is all stuff that is answered in the Q&A, guys, that I did on my channel, so I would recommend watching that. But the long and short of it is, the gold doesn't have a scientific explanation in the Ornata. That's the whole point. It's a magical miracle. And the whole debate, the theological debate in this world is what God caused it, or why are people born that way. So if I solve that, then there's no debate or conflict. It's kind of like if you started off Harry Potter after Voldemort was defeated, right? You've lost that central conflict. Oh, people have got to go. That's no worries, gang. Absolutely. I will see you soon. It's a bit chiller today, a little less robust than the other day, but hopefully a nice time. Lovely to see you. Take care. Hey, Gamey, hi. It's nice to see you in the chat. Oh my goodness. Hi, how's it going? It's going well. Yeah, wow, it's nice to see you in stream. Yeah, it's going okay. We are just working on one of the factions from Golden Bone. Guys, I'm sure there's a hefty overlap between myself and Gamey, but check out his channel. If you like world building, but in a physical form, his Beyond the Blight series is just amazing. 10 out of 10, chef's kiss, series of the year every year. You know, so go check it out right now if you haven't already. Please and thank you. Oh, sorry if there's a delay on the stream, Amelia. It'll be also me not checking the chat constantly. Otherwise, I would never draw, you know? I think, yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot in the comments about... Oh, Gamey's responded. Thanks for the shout out. I think a Golden Bone series has some huge potential. Can't wait to see where it goes. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, oh, and Laven's just checked you out. Yeah, 100%, guys. I know it's not a huge audience right now, but look up Gamey right now. I was about to write his name and then realised you guys are looking, so it's all good. Yeah, really awesome stuff. I love it a lot. And yeah, as Amelia's pointed out, there may be a delay on the stream, but also I'm not constantly checking the chat. It's like down here on my phone. So yeah, I'm just looking for holes in my back colour here, because like I said, I like to just go rough and rustic on this. So I think that's how we're going to do it, and we can tidy it up after. We're just going to work with what we've been given. Holes in narrative actually tell a lot more about... Yeah, I think a solved setting is a boring setting, and sometimes you should just know as much as the residents of the world know. I think that's the way to go. Like, people want like a scientific explanation for the magic in my world. Or some people did, and I was like, but it's magic, that's the whole point. Otherwise it would be sci-fi. And these guys, you know, their tech level isn't super high. Oh, hey, sounds like a lot of you guys really like gamey stuff. Amazing. Yeah, it's Beyond the Blight is it really puts me in the mind of among other things, Wizards. It was kind of one of the vibes I got from it. It's an old Bakshi animated film, if you've ever seen that. It's got a very nostalgic feel to it, and yeah, love it. Right, okay, I think we've got all the gaps in that. That's looking good. So let's throw down the base colours we want. I really want some of these mauves and some of these blues. Maybe some of these blue colours. Maybe not quite that. Yeah, something like that. That I like. This is me just kind of slapping colour down until it makes something I like. Amazing outpouring of love. That's for another creator. That's what we want to see in the chat. Good stuff, gang. Rip Finch. So I'm thinking about buying a new tablet, and I was wondering which one you use. Is it a screen tablet or a regular one? It is a very old one. It's about the size. It's the same one I've had since I started university. It's about 8 years old now. It's the size of an A5 sheet of paper, and it's one where you look at the screen. It's just a regular one, so I draw, but I look at my monitor. I will say get whatever works best for you, but I have a lot of students that I've taught over the years that seem to think that unless they have the $1,000 piece of equipment, that somehow that's the only way they're going to draw well, and it's just 100% not the case. Obviously, to a certain degree, you know, the whole a bad artist blames his tools thing isn't true, because obviously if your computer's not working, there's only so much you can do. But that being said, I would say you can work with cheap stuff. If you were in my last stream, you've heard about the janky setup that I have. It's not particularly it's very rustic, let's say, and I still get by just fine. I will say one thing is, if you've got one that has a screen, you tend to shrimp a lot more, whereas because I have to look up at my monitor, it's actually helped my posture a lot, which is really good if you're going to be working on this for hours at a time. So that would be my one big thing. Gamey says, I'm going to chime in here regarding this idea of narrative holes. I think a good tenet to write or world build by is that you should know all the answers to the major questions about your world, but not feel compelled to reveal them too soon to your audience. This helps guide the project and keeps it... Yeah, exactly that. 100% that. Brit, very good question. Is this character, you know, gay? I don't know. Out of spite for those homophobes in the original video, the Golden Bone video comment section, I want to say yes. I would say he doesn't know yet. He's still figuring it out. He's a big beefy boy who's just kind of working things out at the minute. What I'm just doing here is just smacking some colours down. I want to add like some leather tones as well in a sec. I just want to get some of these lovely mauves. No worries, Tired Otter. To be fair, I'll probably go for just a little longer and then I might also head off too, and then we can maybe finish this another day. This was just another stream to kind of say hi to everyone, really, so as far as I'm concerned, mission accomplished. That guy's just a big ol' himbo, yeah. Doesn't it matter if this character is gay or not? No, not really, but we're just kind of having a laugh with it, especially if you weren't here the other day. I was recounting, I was very fortunate actually. I had very few nasty comments on the Golden Bone video, despite how many comments I had, but one of them did say I had to stop, and I quote, this is me quoting them, "I shouldn't draw so many gays and blacks," which was the most audacious comment I've ever seen in my life. And now out of spite, I'm going to start with all of the Romani and Arabic inspired factions, just as a big FU. Oh, take care, Tired Otter. It's been lovely. Take care. Just have a quick peek at the comments section. Petition to have this guy be gay. You know what? He could be our gay icon. Let's do it. Oh, sticky keys, go away. I know what I'm doing. She says, immediately messing up her colour picking. Just reading some of the comments. Yeah, I mean, do keep it civil, gang. There's nothing wrong with whatever sexuality someone has. But yeah, more than anything, there was some interesting levels of bigotry from only one or two comments, luckily. Another one of them said, your work is really nice, but I don't like blacks in my fantasy, which was another like, Jesus Christ, okay, this is where we're at. And that was obviously swiftly deleted. And another one was someone who rated me cringe out of 10, which I take as the highest honour. If I ever make some merch, it's going to be cringe out of 10. I called my mum and I let her know that I was finally rated cringe out of 10 by someone, and it was a good time. Just playing around with some gentle colours here. I want everything to feel quite homogeneous. I do want there to be a distinction between this belt though. Maybe a bit more of the red. Maybe we'll go for one of these blues. Yeah, something like that maybe. I kind of like that. That was fun for me. I so want to get a shirt that says cringe out of 10. Yeah, absolutely. What's that phrase that did the rounds a while ago? Don't kill the part of you that's cringe, kill the part of you that cringes. Maybe a splash of contrasting colour from a certain special someone. Yeah, maybe. I was thinking maybe adding some yellow in, like a little mustard yellow. Oh, dear. I'll see you soon, or dear, or D-die, however you pronounce it. Have a great day, and thanks for swinging by. Yeah, this is the thing, is like, people try and excuse their bigotry by, you know, in fantasy by saying, oh, well, you know, these people, they'll say things like, these people didn't exist back then, and it's like, back then, sir, this is a fantasy setting, there is no back then, this is, you know, whatever I want it to be. Sir, this is a Wendy's. No racism here, please. On an unrelated note, when is the 1000 sub special coming out? Oh yeah, for those of you who might have been confused by the 100 sub special, I explain it in the thing. It's in the video itself, but it was a bit of an in-joke with some of my friends. No, it's not inspired by Spain. Sorry, that was me just reading a comment out. I may have to start uploading my own stuff for my world building, says Jessie. Yeah, absolutely do. Share your stuff. Go for it. Born to be cringe, forced to cringe. Yeah, absolutely. I wear the fact that I got rated cringe out of 10 as an honor and a privilege. Because I don't want that person's approval, so not getting their approval is an achievement, is how I look at it. So one thing I really like to do when I do paint overs like this is, you might have noticed I've locked my opacity. It means that I can just smack down colour and not have to worry about going over the lines. But also on my lines layer, I'm going to make this ever so slightly saturated. So I'm going to go into Control U, Colorize. I'll go for like a reddish pink because that's the overall tone here. And I'm just gonna lighten it. So it's got just an ever so slight pigmentation to it. And I think that adds a little something. There we go. Okay, we're starting to get these colours down. Oh, for what it's worth, Ragday, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. There is a faction in this that is very, like, it's a huge, like, peninsula, and it's inspired by kind of our slice of Europe, as it were, which is like France, Spain, the UK. So it kind of takes you across the entire length and breadth of that. So the south of that country is inspired by Spain. So there will be some Spanish-inspired people. Thanks for the congrats on 1,000 subs. Yeah, for those of you who didn't watch the 100 subscriber special, one, please do, because I put a lot of effort into it. But two, it's a bit of a joke because before I posted that gold and bone video, I had about 1,000, 100 even subscribers. And then I said to a friend, oh, when this is done, I'll do a cute little 100 subscriber special. And then I got algorithmed real hard. And the rest is history, as they say. So as a joke, I still did the 100 subscriber special anyway. Okay, now my metal, no pun intended, is a little bit rusty. So we're gonna do a little warm up, methinks, before I start committing to any colours. I swear that wasn't an intended pun. Been a hot minute since I did metal. Jeez, I'm so out of practice on this. Pray for me, gang. I'm trying to remember how this works. You know the bit in like Dragon Ball where everyone raises their hands in the air and starts like, that's what I need right now. Just kind of whacking these colours down. Oh Lord, this is not looking nice. Thinking maybe if I add some fuzzy bits as well, maybe. I almost said the pun. Yeah, I did. I'm trying. Thank you. Yes, yeah, give me your energy. I need it. Oh shoot, it wasn't on a locked layer. Oh well. It's alright, we can do this the old-fashioned way and just quickly... There we go. No one's the wiser. It's all good. Yeah, something like that. Just kind of playing around with this until something sticks. That's looking a little better. I could definitely build onto this, but I just wanted something to work from. My mother wanted to know how good you were at drawing unicorns. I don't know why, says Amelia. I'm decidedly mid at drawing horses' heads, and then the bodies just like please don't ask me to draw a horse's body. It's something I want to get better at, but I can draw, in my experience, I can always draw really well from references. But I'm really bad at drawing from memory. No, kind of got the rough shape of a horse's head. Here you go, tell you what, let me give you my patented haunts. There we go, he's beautiful. Right, let's keep going on these things here. Like I said, I'm not 100% sold on how the gold looks. I'm not 100% on if I like it, but we can always come back to it. I just want to get something down for now. There you go, something like that. That feels better. Oh, sorry, yeah, I deleted the unicorn. Oh, bless her. Well, I'm glad that your mum enjoyed that moment of the stream. I've just realised how messily I've drawn these. There we go. That's better. Just playing around with some values. Okay, we can always come back in and really push these, but I just want to get a sense of the lighting. One thing I really like to do that we'll probably come back in and do later is add like scratches and stuff like that. I love adding all those little details, but we'll probably come back to do all of those at a later date. You know, stuff like that. One good way of doing that as well is to sometimes I'll do something like this. I'll make it the colour of the darkest bit. Duplicate it, invert it. Obviously play around with colours a bit more than white and black, but you can start building up fake scratch layers like that if you do them right. I'm noticing that it looks a lot darker on my phone, and I can't work out if my phone's not very good at representing colour or if my monitor that I'm on at the minute isn't very good. I'm leaning towards it being my monitor because it also doesn't reflect what I've done at work very well in the past. Kind of throw these colours down. I'm kind of going in quite firm with it though, because I want it to, when I start rendering it properly, I want it to have that kind of, I don't know, hammered metal look to it, where you can almost see the dents, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's looking a little more like it. we'll go for like a blue or a purple for shading the leather. I always think that turns out nice. If you play with the values right, that is. A little bit of bluish, and then you add the darker bits. A little yellower. Yeah, something like that. Just noticed, unlike in the last stream, I can actually hear the music. Oh, I'm glad you can hear the music a little better. Trying to get better with my light values. I've not always been great with those. Oh, and I've also just realised I forgot these metal bits on the gloves. There we go, something like that. Just trying to get the basic colours down, and then we can go back in and tweak things at a later date and make them a little bit more realistic. There we go. I'm glad I stuck with the less refined line art. He feels a little bit more alive. And also his sleeves look puffier, which is what I was after. Once again, just getting some colours in. Starting to get a feel for the lighting, because I don't even know what I want the lighting to be yet. Don't want this to look too shiny though, because if I was going for shiny like a satin, that's when you'd want to start getting some of these sheer bits in, but we don't want that to look too shiny. Maybe we should go for like a more saturated... something like that. There we go. Just a little summing, just to start making it pop a little. Oh, let me just read the comments section while I sip my tea. Do I have a name for this fellow? No, not yet. Though Koffler was the one that jumped to my mind. Ooh. He looks very huggable. Yes, I'm trying to make him a cinnamon roll huggable type. Oh my gosh, Ryan, thank you so much. Is there anything about alchemy you're able to tell us? So I did spell a little bit in the last live stream, but at the minute I'm still feeling that system out a little. So there's lots about it I could tell, but I'll probably, just to save myself repeating it over and over, I'll probably hold off until I do a video on it. But yes, there is stuff, and it'll come up in conversation naturally, I think, over time. Biscuit says, last time you said the Bishat get paid up front, so don't really worry about being cheated. What would they do if they were paid with fake money? I think that, I mean, that's kind of like asking how any one person does. The Koffler aren't like, I said Koffler because I was looking at the word Koffler. The Bishat aren't like a singular entity, they are a group and network, so I guess it would depend on the person. But that being said, you know, I think it's very much like you just wouldn't. They can deal with the best people, they deal with royalty, they kind of have the luxury of not having to deal with swindlers. And if worst case scenario, they lost some of their ironwork, they just close ranks and then they send word across the rest of the Bishat. But yeah, they also don't just get paid in money, they get paid in goods. So goats or, you know, other fictional animals from this world, food, supplies they maybe can't get in the mountains, all of that sort of stuff. So it's not just money. Being reminded to Control S save my work. I'm alright. I obsessively hit Control S all the time, and also I have auto save on, so we are all good. 10 out of 10, very shape. Love to hear it. Yeah, brilliant. I'm gonna do a pattern on this one. Just feels right. What sort of, they've got these really nice pattern work. Let's do it in black first so I can see, oh, white first so I can see what I'm doing. In fact, I'm gonna do this on top of the line art. This is the first painting over the line art we're doing, gang. trying to see how much I can get away with not doing from this distance. I don't know if I like that as a pattern for them. It's too almost crusader looking. These guys do more friend shape patterns. Oh, wait, do I need radial symmetry on? I do, yeah, whoopsie. Just trying to get a nice pattern that we maybe want to put on. What does Marafti mean? Oh yeah, sorry, the Marafti are a nomadic group within this world, and I was trying to make them distinct from these guys who are mountain people, so I was just kind of talking about that earlier in the stream. Just gonna try something like this and see how it looks. Even if I end up just kind of tracing over it, this might be a bit extra, but I just want to see how it goes. Let's just try this out as an idea, eh? See what happens. What if you implement some fur details? I think part of their design is that they intentionally don't wear fur. They're just so tough that they don't need it. I kind of wanted them to not be too stereotypically, like that. And I think fur's quite I'd liked the idea of them. There's lots of cultures that live in colder climates that just don't wear fur, and I wanted this to be one of them, especially because the Marafti, the other faction I mentioned, do wear fur, and I thought that'd be a nice difference. Hey, Simon, how's it going? You just got back and been lurking. Yeah, I'm probably gonna finish up in a bit. We've just been chatting lore and also just trying out a bunch of ideas. Some of them have worked and some of them have not, but that's often the way of things, isn't it? So we are just now, I'm just trying to get a pattern and I couldn't find one I liked, so I made my own. And we're gonna try and do something with it. She says, completely forgetting how all the transform tools work. They're just too thick to get cold. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I don't know how I feel about this pattern on them. I think it would be good to have some kind of... Don't worry, I've not gotten rid of this forever. I think it'd be good to have some kind of pattern on them to show that they're more Romani inspired. But I think my brain is absolutely cooked. So I may just roughly sketch out where I want things to go as a little reminder for myself, and then I might call it for tonight. Let's go for something like that, just so that future Hannah remembers what she's doing. Oh, what is perspective anymore? Jeez, there we go. That'll do. Oh, lowering opacity isn't the issue. This isn't the colour it's going to be in. It's just so it stands out and I remember where it is. This isn't going to be its final colour. Yeah, there's going to be patterns on the iron as well, for sure. But like I said, for now we're just kind of slamming down colours and seeing what works. Right, tell you what, I think I am actually going to call it there because I am staring at this canvas and it's not getting better, which means that I'm probably getting a little frustrated with it and it is getting a little late. So I think we're going to wrap it up here, if that's cool with everyone else. Pattern slamming classic, exactly, Chocolate C. We're just kind of slamming them down and seeing what happens. I think I will, yeah, I'm definitely coming down with something. I always seem to be these days. Right, I'm going to leave you guys to it. We're going to leave this beautiful large boy to it, and I will hopefully see you guys soon. Lots of love, guys. Take care.